Good morning, everybody. All right, this is my first live on YouTube, so I'm just getting things set up. I have no idea how many or if anybody will join me this morning. Oh, look at it. Oh wait, this is backwards. I got my simmer pot going over there and my fireplace. It's cozy. It's beautiful outside. Oh, I can hear my squeaky chairs, and my squeaky chairs, they've got a story to them as well. It is 2 minutes before 10. And so I'm coming on early, but I'm just going to wait with my cup of coffee and see how everybody's weekend was. Mine was good. You know, the world's a strange place right now, and I don't know exactly how I feel. Sometimes, like from moment to moment, I've been, you know, we're shifting, but as we're shifting, it's like we all talk about layers, but we can't release. If we release too many layers all at once, it can leave us feeling bare. It can leave us in a space of vulnerability that might be really difficult to move past because of the complexities of it or of your past or whatever. So really the message this past week that I've had to remind myself of was allowing myself time for, like, just allowing myself extra time to do things. Like, why does everything have to be done so quickly, lickety split? And it's frustrating sometimes just being in this this back and forth of many of us in business also are looking at I've noticed so many shifts and changes that are exciting in this world with different resources available to people. A lot of practitioners or facilitators, readers I've seen are changing up the platforms they're using or adding something different and that kind of thing. And so that's what is here with me. I am going live for the month of, from now until mid-February. I will be live every Monday at 10 a.m. Saskatchewan time. So that's how I just say Sask time. So that's where I am. I'm in southern Saskatchewan. I also spend time in northern Saskatchewan, grew up in the north. We have a beautiful province, and for anybody who likes solitude, you can find it here. So I'm going to start today. It is now 10:01. So I am going to start with a book, actually, because I bought this book for my daughter when she graduated high school, and I came across it in a trunk over the weekend. And we used to read it. I say we, meaning my youngest son and I would read it. And my daughter, she, I don't even think she ever took it with her to Toronto. She moved to Toronto right out of high school. Obviously was home during COVID. For that was an interesting year. For education and the arts, for sure. And, but this book, I am going to read it, and it's like a message from the universe for whoever is watching. So it's called Dear Girl. All right. And we're going to start here. I like to read books. Let's see. This is this way. I got to move this way. So we've got this. Dear Girl. Oh my gosh, you guys, I can't even do this. Okay, so wait a minute. How do we do this? Oh my God, everything's backwards. I'm just going to read it, you guys. Okay. It says, Dear Girl, dear whoever, person, human, keep that arm raised. You have smart things to say. And this book is by Amy Krouse Rosenthal and Paris Rosenthal, and illustrated by Holly Hattem, it says. Sometimes you may feel like being pink and sparkly, and sometimes you may feel pretty much the opposite. Look at yourself in the mirror. Say thank you to something that makes you you. And this is so important. Loving yourself every morning, looking in the mirror and being grateful for the wrinkles that you have, the smile lines, but just being grateful for being alive. Thank you, freckles. What is something that you love about yourself? Thank you, birthmarks. Thank you, red hair. And talking about hair, I noticed here in my hair, in here and in here, it's getting quite silvery, which I'm loving. Sometimes you just need a good cry. Sometimes you'll need a friend. Sometimes you'll need to be alone. Sometimes you'll need a tissue. Everything's backwards. This is so weird, you guys. Sometimes you'll need a bucket. Dear person, do you know that there's no such thing as asking too many questions? And I love this. This is so important to ask questions. And I have to just interject a little bit here in the book that because asking questions is so important, and we have been, at least, and I'm just going to say we, because I'm speaking to those who connect to what I'm saying, those who what my words are, you're feeling it, you're sensing it. I am not about over explaining or anything, so I'm just going to move forward. Asking a lot of questions. Many of us were, don't you ask questions, do as you're told, right? Think as you're told. So we're all trying to break free from this. Many of us are, right? Dear girl, dear boy, dear person, write down your thoughts once in a while, even if it's just to enjoy the way the pen feels against the paper. And it's true. Cursive. If your kids are interested in that, teach them. Continue to write. Handwritten notes. Printing. All of that. It's a way of channeling. That's how I wrote my first book. My second book, a lot of it also, which isn't done yet, I have written cursive. It brings about a different type of energy than typing when we put pen to paper. Make your room awesome and make your room you. And while you're at it, make your bed. Do you guys make your bed every morning? I don't know. And this about setting up your space. What does your space look like? Do you have a sacred area that is just for you, where you can go and connect to your higher self, to divine? Do you have that? It's a perfect opportunity to set something like that up for yourself right now. We've got another month and a bit left in this astrologically until this big timeline shift. Okay. Don't ever lose your sense of wonder. Isn't that amazing? I love that. We know all about how the colors are connected to our bodies. Roy G. Biv. Learned that from my dad when I was a kid. All the colors in the rainbow. Dear girl, sometimes you've just got to stop and dance. And it's true. How many of you have kitchen dance parties? I was just saying to a couple of ladies here last week that how many of us have, and women, anyone, but women specifically have this, I feel, inner desire to really allow our energy to move through us. Men, women, whatever. I'm just speaking of this because I'm a woman. So if somebody wants to tear me apart for my use of verbiage, whatever, my intentions are pure in this. So in dancing, can you dance alone in your house without thinking, oh my God, this feels weird. This feels strange. And maybe it does because you haven't moved your body or allowed yourself to move your body in a certain way. So what are you doing to help loosen and connect to that energy that is within all of us? So anyway, next in the book. Find people like you and find people not like you. Oh, I can't stress this enough. And love things about everybody. Love things about people you don't like. There's a reason why people rub you the wrong way. It's because sometimes people are just fucking annoying. But we have to figure out why we think that, right? But the other thing too is we know this, especially with women, learning to accept and love women we don't necessarily mesh with, being cheerleaders for each other in the journey that we're making, we're living, knowing that we're all just doing our best. We're all part of this collective, of this ocean, this sea of light and love. And how do we get to have that light within us shine at its brightest capacity, right? And operate from that space as much as possible. So, dear girl, dear person, create traditions. So important, you guys. Tradition, connecting to culture, fun, crazy handshakes, silly inside jokes. These are all part of being human. And the creating traditions part, my family we've had a lot of traditions. I am French Métis on my dad's side and Scandinavian, mostly Swedish, on my mom's. And so we have my parents, both my grandparents and parents were both we're amazing at creating traditions and having some of these things that we make or do every year that help us to connect to our core of who we are. And traditions, I'm thinking here, and what I'm tapping into is the traditions that have been passed down. There's a sacredness to them and an intention to them that's different than some of what maybe we view as being that today. I don't even know what I'm seeing. Fireworks. Blasting off fireworks can become a tradition on July the 4th, right? Or 1st. Why did I say 4th? But maybe because the states make a bigger deal about it than we do here. But that is tradition. But what type of tradition is it? I'm talking about really what hits you to this part of you in the heart. What are those traditions that connect to your heritage, your ancestral lines, what is it that you want to bring forward that you're proud of, that you feel good about, that helps you remember why we are all here. It says, if your instinct's telling you no, say no, And saying no is really important. The boundaries created from love. Saying no doesn't have to come with a negative energy behind it. And a lot of times it's like, what flow do you want this word? How do you want this word to be received? If you're delivering it with a lot of anger and resentment, then perhaps it's the energy then. You might get back more of this. But setting a boundary with love, you might get that back, but you will not, your tendency to react to that with more won't be if you're sitting and operating from that space of acceptance and love and wholeness in the first place before saying no. So it's interesting how this is all coming together with me reading this book. Because I was just planning on just reading it, but you know what? So much is coming up with it. And it's really important, I think, for all of us to just find these things in our lives that help us, that are simple. And this is written for children, essentially, for children. But we all need to hear this right now. Coloring outside the lines is cool too. Being you, not caring what the opinions and thoughts of others will be or are, when you are really facing the world and walking through life from that space of authenticity. What is your authentic space? We got to find that out too, right? And the only way to really find out, well, who am I? What do I love? What do I not love? How do I feel? What's here? What's in here? And that's really about that authenticity. What's here? And then how do we make choices that align with what the goal is? Because sometimes we make choices that are going to have the result of that, but they may not feel good. So this isn't about choosing what's going to initially be, oh, well, this feels better and easier to do, so I'm going to choose that. It's like, no. We can color outside the lines and feel good about it still. Anyway, there are no rules about what to wear. Oh, and just to finish up that coloring outside the lines might piss other people off. And more than likely, whenever you are coloring outside the lines, speaking what is within you, it might piss people off. But then coming back to self and going, you know what? I have no control over how others choose to accept and react to my space. But this is about really accepting and knowing what is your true authentic space. And for all of us, it is love. It is that highest frequency of love, authenticity, gratitude. Those are all high vibrational frequencies. And so how do we do things and keep ourselves as moving and as close to this as possible, knowing that we're always going to have dips? That's life. But how do we, I go like this, operating ourselves in a space of more even keel? So no rules about how to cut your hair either. I watched a thing, this woman, and I actually watched a friend of mine years ago who had long hair down. It was down past her breasts. Like, it was like belly button, long hair, beautiful hair. And she went in and got a pixie cut. Now, that takes a little bit of craziness, in my opinion, but I've done it before too. I've just went, you know what? And boop, it all came off because of being in a space in your life or feeling you want to, or wanting change or whatever it is, but not worrying about whatever somebody is going to say. And then when you make that decision, not allowing what other people's opinions are of whether or not you should have cut your hair affect how you feel, because there's always going to be somebody who feels the need to tell you, and this is tell you that, oh, or you can sense, oh, interesting. Wow, so cute, but oh my God, what did you do with your hair? You can tell they're like thrown off by some decision that you made, and you're like, I didn't fucking do this for you. I did this for me. So when you see something like that, be aware of how you are talking to others too, right? Just because you would never do something doesn't mean somebody else doesn't feel good doing it. So stop fucking judging them. Dear girl, it says, gosh, I don't know. You got this. It says, be brave. Listen to your brave side. True. Dear girl, you won't be invited to every single party on the planet, which is really okay. Can you imagine how exhausting that would be anyway? It would. And those are actually the words in the book. It'd be exhausting. And honestly, I don't get invited to a lot of parties. I don't throw a lot of parties. I like to go to events, but I think that coming together and having places where we meet in community and in person are going to be going to be even more important in the coming year, 2 years, 5 years. Definitely coming up. Okay, and this, I love it. A tree trunk is the perfect place for thoughts to be thunk. Connect with the trees. Do you guys connect with trees? It's January, and the month of the first tree month, and then the Celtic Ogham is the birch tree. And funnily enough, look at this. I have some birch bark right here, and I'm going to be sending some birch bark out in some of. I'm putting together some ritual kits for some people, and birch bark is going to be in there doing any sort of spell work connection with the birch tree. It represents beginnings. It represents starting anew, taking that first step in a journey. And even though right now we're in winter and in the heart of still this hibernation space of listening to our bodies, what our bodies are telling us, slowing down, being intentional about the food that we eat, doing things maybe a little bit differently. This is all very important right now, especially at the beginning of the Wheel of the Year. Whenever you need an encouraging boost, remember, and it says you can turn to any page in this book, but most of all, dear girl who I love, know that you can always, always turn to me. And I feel that this is a message from Spirit. You can always, always turn to divine. You can always, always, when you are having any sort of struggle, emotional, mental, spiritual, take it. What is it that my friend Dana says? Take it to the ethers, maybe is how take it to meditation, or basically, I can't remember exact words, but, and it's true. Sitting within, going into that silent space within our hearts, within our physical space, creating that exterior and interior, even if it's for 5 minutes, 15 minutes a day of intentional slowing down, connecting to the quiet center of our hearts and really listening to what's there and allowing things to shake up and feel them so we can release them and become more intentional and do a lot of what these things are. So I love this. Smart things to say, wear whatever you want. The words that have been coming through for people have been, who makes the rules? Yes, there are laws we all need to abide by, stuff like that. This isn't what I'm talking about, you guys know. But who makes the rules in your life? Who really makes the rules? And being respectful and intentional, awareness is key so much right now for all of us. And I am going to, I'm going to wrap this up. It feels like said everything I need to say. And if you want to weigh in on anything that came up, please do so. Subscribe, like. I need to get up to at least 50 subscribers. I'm not quite there yet. And I know one day you'll be way more than 50 and I'll be like, oh my gosh, I was asking in the beginning for people to subscribe, because I am switching the way that I'm doing things with my business. And I am going to be going live on YouTube instead of just doing it on social media platforms. So here I am. Thank you, all of you, and take care. And now I'm saying end the stream, and it's not. And now I have to hit end. There. I will no longer be live.